Phoenix FM, community radio for Dublin 15, radio built by volunteers.
And welcome back to D15 today, coming to you live from the Laurel Lodge Community Centre here in Castleknock, Dublin 15. And our next guest is Jenny O'Halloran, who's Vice President of Education of the Castleknock Toastmasters. Good morning, Jenny, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And of course, the Toastmasters, quite an old organisation, and it's all about speaking. But for the listeners, tell us, what are the Toastmasters all about?
Well, Toastmasters was set up in America in 1924 by a man called Robert Smedley. And his aim was to help disadvantaged boys at the time and to help them get a job. And he felt that they were lacking in interview skills. So he wanted to give them the confidence to be able to communicate properly. And so he set up the very first Toastmasters. And since then it has spread worldwide. And our club in Castleknock chartered in December 1986. So it's actually 36 years old this December. We have 29 members and we're a thriving club. And there are several other clubs throughout Dublin and throughout the country. So it's a national and an international organisation.
And of course, as you say, international organisation, and I've known for many years the Toastmasters' existence here in Castleknock. I've been out here myself over 40 years, so again, and one of the first organisations to set up out here that I became aware of were the Toastmasters. But it's interesting that Mr. Smedley, in setting it up, his aim was to help disadvantaged people. And of course, the Toastmasters in more recent years has become perhaps a more refined organisation. But your offering really is to the wider community. It's open to all, and it's I suppose, a very powerful tool to be able to speak confidently in public. And that's what it's about. It's about building confidence of the individual, being
Absolutely.
able to be self-assured and to present yourself as you want yourself to be presented.
Yes.
So all of those skills are what you can learn to develop in Toastmasters.
Yes, we have members going from their 20s up to their 70s. And it's great for the mixing of the age groups and mixing of the generations, because you make friends of all generations then when you're in Toastmasters. And it does help in speaking in public. It helps people to gain confidence. And I know that people come maybe from a business background also, but also all walks of life. But it helps to in interviewing skills, in speaking and impromptu. If you're going for an interview or something like that, it helps you to be ready for the next question and not to be fumbling for an idea, because you're trained in Toastmasters to think quickly on your feet and also to do prepared speeches.
And I suppose also, and just purely on a day-to-day engagement, out socialising, that you can feel more confident socialising in groups, for example, that if a conversation starts up, you can join that conversation with confidence.
Yes.
And, for example, your own experience of Toastmasters, why would you have joined them?
Well, when I was in secondary school myself, we used to be asked to stand up and read aloud from the textbook at the time. That was the way it was done. And one day I found myself choking up. I didn't know what it was. It was actually a panic attack. And so I became nervous when reading, especially aloud. I became a teacher, so you'd think, well then, I would have no problem standing up in front of a group, which I didn't once it was children. But with adults, I'd still found that I was quite nervous, and especially when reading aloud. So a friend of mine was in Toastmasters. It was much easier, I thought, to go along when she was there, so I had someone to hang out with at the coffee break. But when I got there, I found I didn't need anybody, that you can come on your own because it's so welcoming. And little by little, I gained in confidence. And here I am today, 10 years later. I'm still there. I'm still giving speeches. I don't suffer from nerves as much, which is why I can come on here on the radio today. And also, I've made so many friends. I mean, a lot of my socialising now is with people from Toastmasters. And there's such a varied and interesting group.
So it's much more than even just the personal development from the point of view of, like so many people you were saying initially, attracted to be honing their business skills, so to speak. It's so much more than that, really, isn't it?
It's that and a lot more.
And a lot more.
Yes.
And of course, for ordinary individuals who may or may not think of in terms of a business tool, say someone who's listening, like you were, for example, as a teacher, you were nervous in front of people speaking, and public speaking, so to speak. So now you've got to the stage through your experiences and learning in Toastmasters, you're quite confident. So it's quite true to say that it's not just about getting up the next rung on the promotion ladder. It's far more than that.
Yes. People do come there for that sometimes, and they do gain in skills. But they stay on then for the social aspect, and the confidence you gain, and the friendships you make. And our meetings are actually great fun. And I just want to say one thing, that our meetings were in Mayo's in Castleknock, upstairs in Mayo's, for years and years. But this year we had to move after the pandemic, and we've now moved to Castleknock Tennis Club. So if anybody's interested in getting in touch, that's where we'll be.
And where can they find you on Facebook, I presume, is it?
We're on Facebook, Castleknock Toastmasters. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on all the social media. And we meet the first and third Thursday of the month. We're broken for the summer now, but we're going back 1st of September. We'll be back, our first meeting. And we'd love to see people coming along. And it's so friendly, and it's so open, and it's just a great club to be in.
So really, if I was to put it out there, it's not just about improving your speaking skills, but there's a more of a social and personal development aspect to it. In fact, from what I'm taking from this is a large part of it is the social development and the friendships that you form while you're participating in Toastmasters.
And you find yourself mixing with people from all backgrounds and all parts of the country that are living in Castleknock.
So it promotes community cohesion and understanding.
Oh, definitely, yes. Oh, yes. And we're a diverse group. We're very friendly, and we're very together. We're just a little community within the community.
It sounds like you have fun while you're doing it.
We
Would
do,
I be right?
absolutely. We do.
Yeah.
We have great fun.
And that's the great appeal of the diversity of offerings that we have here in Dublin 15. We've had makeup artists here on this morning, and the children here participating in lots of great activities which they're enjoying, to people a little older who have bridge clubs here, Toastmasters, catering for people who like to be able to engage in public speaking and debate.
Yes.
So it's all part of community glue, as I call it.
Yes.
Spread far and wide, and giving an offering for everyone to appeal to the broadest possible audience.
And as well as speaking skills, I'll just add in one more thing. We develop leadership skills also. There's all kinds of leadership roles within every meeting and within the club. The committee I'm in the committee now this year, and several new people have joined the committee this year. So it's a learning curve for everybody. So we're learning all the time.
And it sounds like an organisation that could help a lot in terms of promoting the future leaders of our community, of our society.
Hopefully so, yes.
Yeah. And do you get many people in their teens or early 20s coming to you?
We have, yes. We had a couple of people come just recently. They came just after the lockdown, and when we came back we had 2 or 3 new people that came in, and I had taught one of them myself actually years ago. So the new people are coming on, and they're getting younger, but we also have up to people in their 70s.
But you have a broad spectrum there.
Of all the different types of people and all the different backgrounds and all the different age groups. And it's just such a friendly club. It's a great place to be.
That's nice to see that representation across the community as such. It is nice. And do you engage in debating competitions?
We do. We have competitions. We have our own club competitions. We have like a humorous speech contest. We have a tall tales contest.
Tall tales, tell me, what's that about?
Well, that's where you can just make up something that's completely ridiculous. The more ridiculous, the better. And
in other words, is it believable?
Well, it doesn't even have to be believable. It can be a very tall tale.
And when you say tall tale, is the objective at the end of that to call it as a reality, or was it a tall tale?
It's just, I suppose it's mostly humorous in a lot of ways.
Right.
But it's just using your imagination.
Words, and your imagination.
And we have like a topics contest where you have to speak on a topic that you're just throwing the topic, and it's whoever can give the best answer to that topic. Might be several competitors, and winners from our club then go forward to the area, and there's 4 clubs in the area, and then they go on to the district. So there's a tier that you can go up a tier every time.
So
we've had winners at district level.
And as a matter of interest, does that generate people to have an interest in writing, for example? I can think of an author of a novel who'd be interested in developing that kind of a concept.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because when you write a speech, you really have to have a proper structure. So you learn to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And when you give your speech, you get feedback from all the members. And then one person stands up after your speech a while later, and they give an oral feedback to you, and they give you maybe points that you could improve on for the next time. But it's always been done in a very kind way, and it's very positive.
Sounds like a great way to spend an evening.
It
So,
is.
Jenny, I want to thank you very much for coming on this morning. Well done for your participation here in the live show today here from Laura Lodge Community Centre. So, folks, that was Jenny O'Halloran, who's the Vice President of Education in the Castleknock Toastmasters. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you very
presence here
much.
today. And going out with our next song, folks, is Fine Young Cannibals, and She Drives Me Crazy.